Hey guys, what's up? This is Bharat. You're watching iGyaan, and today we are unboxing something really special. So let's quickly get started. So the Vivo Nex finally comes to India, and we're going to be unboxing it and taking a look. As you can see on the packaging, Vivo is proud and wants to demonstrate that they were an official smartphone of the FIFA World Cup in Russia this year. Apart from that, the packaging is quite minimal. You do have certain details on the back, and most of you guys are already aware of this phone, so I'm not going to waste time with that. Let's quickly unbox it and see what's inside. First thing inside the box is the phone itself. It seems quite hefty from the get-go. So I'll place it to the side, and also inside the box is a documentation and a SIM ejector tool. You also get a back case, which is this hard plastic case with silicone insides. Also inside the box is a USB Type-C cable. Now this is a really high quality cable, and you also get a wall charger. The wall charger also is a super fast charger supporting 10 volts with up to 2.2 amps, which is pretty impressive, upwards of 22.5 watts of charging capability for a smartphone is pretty impressive. You also get in-ear style earphones with the standard 3.5mm headphone jack. That is because this device does continue to get the headphone jack. You also get swappable ear tips. The quality of the earphones is pretty nice, and the sound output is also pretty impressive. It's time to finally take a look at the device itself. Now it does have some iconic features, but we'll go through them in just a second. Let's talk about the display. The front is all display, and it is a nice 6.59 inch. That is a massive size display, which is a Super AMOLED display with a 2316 by 1080 resolution. Now, being a Super AMOLED display, it allows the company to curve up the display on the edges, and it looks mighty impressive, giving it a really nice screen to body ratio. What's also interesting is the placement of the fingerprint sensor, which is behind the display, and they have some animations that I'm going to talk about. It looks impressive and it works really well. It's a really nice place to have that. On the bottom, you do have the SIM tray, so a unique location for the SIM tray on the bottom of the device. You also have the microphone and the USB-C port along with the speakerphone. You can also see some antenna lines on the bottom over there. On the right side, you have the power button and the volume button. Again, antenna lines on the side of the phone. On the top is the 3.5mm headphone jack. So despite being a full display phone, they continue to give you a headphone jack, which is impressive. Again, a secondary noise cancellation microphone. And just next to that is the pop-up camera for the device. Now this mechanism, when I saw it first on videos, I thought it'll be a little janky, not work so well. But in the case of the Vivo Nex, it's actually quite impressive, and it also has a sound that comes up every time you pop open the camera. You can also modify this sound. So the sound almost sounds like it's coming from Wall-E. So it's quite impressive, to say the least. Now on the left also you do have an AI button, as what Vivo is calling it, but in the case of the Vivo Nex in India, it'll launch up Google Lens, allowing you to sort of quickly scan your area and detect brands and things that you don't recognize. This can do that for you. So quick object recognition can be activated from the left button. So on the back is a combination 12 megapixel camera with a 5 megapixel camera. It does have OIS. The front camera, the pop-up camera, is an 8 megapixel camera. The primary camera, which is the 12 megapixel camera, does have an f1.8 aperture. The 5 megapixel camera does have the 2.4 aperture, and the front 8 megapixel camera does have an f-stop of 2.0. You do have a dual tone flash on the back as well. And you can see there's no Vivo branding on the phone, a really nice curved back. In fact, the back panel also has a screen protector pre-installed, and you can see that there is a really nice Nex branding on the back, but the company is sort of trying to hide their Vivo branding from the device to make it appear more premium, because the phone is launching for $48,990. So the company wants it to sort of feel and look premium, and boy does it look and feel premium. It looks really nice. It's got this curved back. The back also has a twilight color scheme going on. So the different angles that you look at it, the back changes color. So it's got a rainbow effect. Despite being a black colored back, it's got a rainbow effect, a really nice color effect on the back panel. Now the device also curves in, and despite being a pretty massive screen, it kind of fits into my hand quite easily. But if you do have larger hands, this might become a slight bit of an issue. You will need to operate this device with both your hands. Now the phone right off the bat comes with Vivo's own skin applied onto Android. So you do have Fun Touch is what the operating system is called, and right off the bat it does require an update, and I would recommend that you do that update, because after that is when the in-display fingerprint sensor works properly. It is running Android 8.1 and hopefully it'll be updated to the latest Android P whenever it launches. Now let's talk about the in-display fingerprint sensor. Now Vivo has done this in the past with some of their other devices, even though this was the first device they demonstrated at Mobile World Congress with the in-display fingerprint sensor. The fingerprint sensor is mighty easy to set up and it works quite well. You have to simply follow the instructions on screen. But I think the coolest thing about the in-display fingerprint sensor is that when the screen is off, thanks to the display being a Super AMOLED display, they can constantly show the fingerprint icon, and all you need to do is press your finger on the fingerprint icon and you get this really nice matrixy effect that then unlocks the device. You can also change the animation of this effect to two other options that are in the fingerprint menu screen, which again, depending on your taste, you can put them, but I think I like the default one the best, and it looks super futuristic with the way the device works. The second cool thing about this device, of course, that everyone is talking about is the pop-up camera. Now this is seemingly becoming a craze this year around. The front-facing camera, in my first initial impressions, is a little soft on focus, but you do have a whole host of front-facing shooting modes. You have the ability to add filters. You also have the ability to use the display as a front-facing flash. It does not have an inbuilt flash in there, so that is definitely something that people should be aware of. The AR stickers work really well. In fact, they have a Thug Life sticker, which I think looks absolutely fantastic, and it works really well. There's good face detection on the device, and it applies the sticker quite well. Apart from that, the standard camera mode also has a few shooting options. You also have a full pro mode allowing you to modify exposure value, ISO, shutter speed, white balance, all of those standard things. You also have video recording in 4K, and you do have certain customizations that you can give to the camera itself. The standard camera app or the default camera app does not have a lot of detail going on in the images, so I would recommend using a third-party app if you want finer control over the camera. Now we did take some sample shots from the camera and they came out really well, as well as we took some front-facing camera shots and we find them to be good as well. But as I said, front-facing camera images seem a little soft initially, but of course we'll be testing out this camera in depth to give you a better look at the device. The top camera mechanism, like I said, you have really nice sounds and you can customize these sounds, but it also reminds me of CD trays. If you guys have been in touch with CD trays, or if you've seen CD trays in your life, they have the same mechanism. It's quite stiff and it's not really easy to push back in, but if you do push it in really hard, it pulls back the drive that pulls back the camera inside the device. Now I feel that this camera mechanism in the real world could get damaged easily, especially if there's a lot of dust around. The company seems to have tested it for upwards of 300,000 sort of motor actions, but in the real world is where it matters, and I want to see how long this lasts. Even though it's a really stiff and strong quality motor, it seems that people will be able to damage it easily, and in that scenario, how is it going to be fixed? The user interface is also somewhat clean, not a lot of bloatware. Some of the apps that are preloaded, including the Amazon app, I'm assuming because that's the place that this phone is going to be sold, can be deleted from the home screen or from the device itself, but there are certain Vivo applications that cannot be deleted, including the Vivo Cloud or Vivo.com shortcut, which I decide to put into a single folder. So if you do that, not a lot of applications, not a lot of bloatware, you have somewhat a clean user interface, very nice and easy to navigate, very pleasing to the eye. Nice round icons, looks good. Of course, you have lots of customizations, including a theme app that allows you to download tons of other themes that the company itself puts up for this device. Let's talk about things that don't seem to be important anymore, is the internal specifications. So of course, this device has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 chipset, which is octa-cores at 2.8 GHz, 8 gigs of RAM, and 128 GB of onboard storage. The SIM tray does not have any micro SD port, so the device does not support any expansion. 128 GB should be good for most people. The battery is a 4000 mAh battery, and it is a lithium-ion battery, and I feel that the way the device is made with the Super AMOLED display and everything included, the battery should last you a full day, but of course I'm going to be checking it out in depth. The device is missing any kind of wireless charging, which would have made it sort of a complete device, but it does not seem to have that. So face unlock and wireless charging is missing from the device. The phone does have Bluetooth 5.0 and it does support OTG. You have to enable it through the settings panel, and you do have a lot of customizations in the settings panel as well. For the operating system, you can also enable gestures that allow you to pull out the home screen without requiring a navigation bar at the back. So you do get a standard gestures, so you can have the home screen in the center, and you can also then customize where you want the back to be. So you can pull up from the bottom on the left to go to the back screen, or you can pull up from the bottom on the right to go to the back screen, and then the other side becomes the control panel accessing side. So much like the control center on iOS, this device does have a control panel that allows you to increase, decrease brightness or volumes, and also turn on certain other things including the flashlight, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, etc. So the notification shade then becomes empty, and in the notification shade you only get your notifications and a quick search option. Now we did run benchmarks and they are quite impressive on the device as well, upwards of 260,000 on Antutu and similar results on Geekbench, putting it in close proximity to the OnePlus 6, giving you a good overall experience with the device. You do have a pop-up camera, you do have a full display front, looks really nice, extremely premium. Honestly, I'm a little surprised by the way the device feels and performs in the hand in our first impressions. Of course, like I said, I'll be testing it out in depth, but the first impression is pretty good, and the camera mechanism, it's pretty impressive. Overall mix of things including sounds and materials and finish on this device is pretty impressive as well. If you do guys want us to check out this device and give you a full review, do let us know what all you'd like us to cover in the comment section below. We will leave you with some image samples from the device. If you like this video, don't forget to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're not already a part of Team iGyaan. This has been Bharat. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.